You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, listen up. U.S. Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
For more than a couple of weeks now, Jessica has been talking about this lemonade that is killing people, and for some reason, somebody around here today, I don't know whether it was Amin or Lucy, somebody said that this claim by Jessica that has been validated. Someone died because of, is it Panera? Is that the company that is making the lemonade? Someone died, and what has happened since is the dangerous taboo of the liquid death that isn't the water that is liquid death. That is liquid death now makes it more appetizing because it's a dangerous drink. And I don't understand what's happening there. Now there are people around here who want to taste the deadly lemonade.
I'm so happy Lucy's here now, and Charlotte, obviously. But Lucy is reading the same memes as me on the Twitter For You page. And this Panera lemonade has caffeine in it, but does not really advertise that it has caffeine in it. And it has so much caffeine in it that people are drinking it without realizing that it actually may be bad for their health. And so now 2 people have died after drinking the lemonade, and they're suing Panera. And instead of this being like oh my God, this is tragic, this corporation didn't label their drink well, it's just turned into a meme where everyone's like, I want to drink the lemonade that kills you.
This is basically like turned into like the Tide Pods fiasco of a few years ago, where kids were eating Tide Pods because they were like, it's funny, it's a TikTok trend. And people are now doing the Panera Lemonade Challenge, where you go drink Panera Lemonade and see if you die.
I was going to say, and some adults.
Well, they were
the Tide
really
Pods.
tasty.
They were delicious.
Is this the Chris Cody theory of no pub is bad pub, even if
This
your
is not
lemonade?
good.
If your lemonade
This is not good. People are dying.
This
Dan.
makes me want to go nowhere near Panera.
Really?
I mean, their lemonade's killing people.
I love Panera. I still want to go there, but I don't want to try the lemonade.
You don't?
I mean, why would you guys want to try something that might kill you?
I just have a lot of questions here. First of all, why is there caffeine in lemonade? Second of all, why is there so much caffeine in lemonade that people are dying? What?
And what has happened to us mentally that we're like, this is the funniest? Like, people are like having a ball. And I feel so terrible for these 2 families because, like, if you read the stories of what happened to these people, like, it is genuinely horrifying. If this happened to one of your family members or someone you knew, you would be mortified. Like, it's so tragic. But it is just like everything now that is sad or kind of weird just is like instantly meme-ified.
I'm going to walk the dangerous line here. Okay.
Oh, boy.
You go into Panera, right? Yeah, I'll get a sandwich. You want some chips on this? Oh,
half
chips.
sandwich soup.
Half sandwich, half soup, maybe a bag of
Red
chips.
Bull, broccoli and cheddar.
I'm a little thirsty. I'm a little parched. What should I have to drink? Well, let's see, you guys. We have sodas. We have iced tea. We've got lemonade. We got our charged lemonade. Give me the charged one. Why are you going for the charged lemonade? They have regular lemonade.
Right.
They have regular lemonade.
That's what I'm talking about. Why choose the one that's going to kill you?
Well, here's why.
You smoke cigarettes.
Good point.
No, he doesn't try that, though.
There's a warning label.
He lives in it, yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm not trying.
There should be a warning label on this lemonade.
He is not trying. He is succeeding in
I also
smoking
feel like
cigarettes.
charged
Right.
lemonade, you could be like, oh, it's probably like fruit punch.
Or
Like,
it has vitamins in it.
Yeah,
or something.
You should
charged.
label it, this lemonade could kill you.
This is like the Four Loko without the alcohol is sort of what I'm getting.
But like, here's the crazy thing, right? There's a scene in the movie Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood where
Wordy.
Yes, it's a great title. File as well. They roll up a joint. Well, first guy takes a hit, starts coughing harder, then he's convulsing, he's frothing at the mouth. He keels over and like a cockroach with his legs up, dies. And everyone stares at him, and then they look at the weed and say, pass that shit over here. That's the exact vibe I get, which is, This lemonade is so caffeinated, it killed 2 people. Oh my God. I'm ready for that wild ride. Remember that day I had the Cuban coffee, but I had a cup as opposed to a little thing, and then I started freaking out? That's what I think that lemonade must be like. We should get some right now.
This makes me want some Cuban coffee. Fuentes, make some Cuban coffee.
And some Panera, too.
I think for legal purposes, we should state that we are not accusing Panera explicitly of contributing to the deaths of these 2 people. However, there appears to be a link, and we are stating that there has been lawsuits filed. And a meme has been created. Don't sue me, sue Dan.
Jessica Smetana, Esquire.
I am a bit confused. I'm not a huge Panera Bread fan.
Shocking.
But if there were anything that were killing people, I would not be interested in trying my hand at that. When you told me,
rolling the dice.
I thought it was 1 person. Now you're telling me it's 2. Did those people have previous heart problems? Is it linked to something that is...
Oh, you're saying there might be a different connection point with the 2, not just the lemonade?
Stugotz.
I think you're right. I think you're onto something.
I don't think that Panera would continue to sell its lemonade if it thought that there was a link between caffeine so charged that it kills people and making a drink more popular because people are talking about it and it's dangerous.
Maybe it's charged because of the murder charge that goes along with it. That's why it's called charge.
All right, hold on just a second here.
Hold on a second.
I like Stu being like, no, I agree with you. It might be like I would watch a detective show where Stu is the main detective.
True detective.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
No, it can't be true.
Stu
False
detective.
I would take
Stu detective.
I would take these 2 people and figure out what else they have in common. What else did they do on the same
Untrue
day?
detective.
Untrue. I like that. Thank you.
It can't be true.
We got there.
I mean, stop it, guys.
Cannot be
Workshop it.
true detective.
You can't spell manslaughter without man's laughter.
So I know for a fact that the first girl who passed away, she did have a undiscovered heart issue. So I don't think it's like everyday people are just. Well, they shouldn't probably be drinking this lemonade because it's like 300.
She didn't know. Allegedly, she didn't know it had caffeine in it. And same with the other guy. Neither of them were like, "Oh, I'm purposely drinking 300 milligrams of caffeine right now." So that is why they're suing Panera, because they're like, there should be a warning label, like on cigarettes.
Were they vaccinated?
It's dangerous.
The thing that has surprised me recently that I cannot understand. I was at a restaurant that served mezcal, and I was ordering a drink. And on the menu, I did not have my glasses on, and this is where I discovered the very simple water of liquid death. I discovered it in a can, and I've been told by friends of mine that it tastes differently, especially the flavored ones. But as a concept, I found just sort of confusing, both advertising something as liquid death, then having it be water, and I also don't ever want to drink water out of a can. To me, it doesn't taste the same as it does out of bottles. And so I would think water in a can tastes worse, but I'd be wrong, evidently, because liquid death is very popular. And I was wondering, is that marketing that's making it popular, or is it actually taste?
So Liquid Death is very popular because of the marketing strategy. So it was put together for the idea of being water for punks. It's mainly for the community. No, listen. It's mainly for the community of people who they are sober, but they are going out to bars and they don't want to hold a bottle of water at a bar. If you're holding a can, people aren't going to bother you as much. People aren't going to know you're drinking
Looks
water.
Cooler.
Yeah. It's all marketing, and it's been unbelievably successful.
But it's also made to look purposefully, I would imagine, as an energy drink as well. One of the popular cans that looks like an energy drink of some sort. But the water itself, when I was drinking it, it did not taste to me like water usually tastes when I drink it out of a bottle. It didn't taste better. I would say it changed. It wasn't even that it tasted worse. I just preferred the other experience of not drinking from something that's aluminum or metallic. I didn't like it. And so I'm asking you, you think it's marketed to both people who don't want to look like they're not drinking liquor and also want to look cool, because I don't believe anyone looks at anyone drinking a bottle of much of anything and says that person is cooler than I thought they were before they were holding that.
You don't have an Instagram. You don't get Instagram aesthetic. Like Liquid Death is for it's for the look of it. It's a huge popular thing where people wear Liquid Death brand stuff.
Out of touch, Dan Le Batard.
You don't have an aesthetic on Instagram, Dan. I'd like to see you. Let's put together.
I take no insult from what it is that you're saying. You're correct. I don't drink my water to look cool on the gram. That is a correct appraisal by you.
Because I'm thirsty.
Lame.
I would like to go back to something though. You say you don't like water out of a can. What about like a can of seltzer? You know where you buy those boxes? Like, I love, Polar Seltzer in a can. Yeah. La Croix.
Would you like that in a plastic bottle, though?
We're saying a lot of brand names right now,
actually,
folks.
For seltzer, I prefer either the can or the big bottle.
Mm-hmm. No, Dan prefers his drinks with a side of unrecyclable plastic, is what he's saying.
Or a cardboard box.
She is
Dan
right.
Le Batard.
Well, she's got me on that one.
Evil, out of touch Dan Le Batard.
She has got me on that one. I don't often drink out of bottled water, but
when I do.
But when I do, I kill the environment. I'm Dan Le Batard, moral hypocrite, telling you how to behave while drinking my riches.
You hate the environment. You don't have an aesthetic. You don't have an Instagram. What else can we get him for in this segment, Lucy?
Oh, well, you can get me in trouble by all the sponsors.
You're going to get sued by
naming.
Panera.
Yeah.
This is what Dan's car sounds like.
If Polar Seltzer...
It's a rich person's horn right there.
Yeah, Aruga.
Sure is.
So I'm just wrong. I am wrong. Liquid Death is the future. Liquid Death is cool. No one objects to the idea of something being called Liquid Death as we talk about a lemonade that is actual liquid death.
We think. I mean,
it's all water and seltzer. It's not killing anybody.
I don't even like club soda out of a can. All I drink usually is sparkling water. I try to drink sparkling
small
water.
bottle.
And no, I don't drink it out of bottles.
Really?
I try.
Big question here. Is there a difference between sparkling water and club soda?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is it?
Minerals.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Minerals.
Are you kidding me?
No.
This is blowing my world has been turned upside down. So when I say, can I have a seltzer? Mm-hmm. Or when I say, can I have a club soda? Mm-hmm. They're not going to bring me the same thing?
Mm-mm.
No.
I'm not talking tonic water.
Mm-mm.
If you ask for seltzer, you'll get seltzer.
Yeah.
If you ask for club soda, you'll get club soda.
What's
the
club
same
soda?
button on the little thingy? You know what I'm talking about?
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is seltzer the same thing as club soda? Because I thought the same thing that you did. You're not alone here, Charlotte. Amin is looking like a real expert on this, but I believe he's bluffing. I don't believe he knows.
What's that?
I believe
he's right. Look it up.
I'm calling your bluff. Look, this is a poker game right here. Everyone is backed off. Let's see. Hold on a second.
Look it up.
Okay.
I'm standing strong with Amin.
Let's see.
Thank you.
I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but I used to work at a restaurant, and I'm realizing I definitely did not give people what they asked for, if Amin is telling the truth right now.
Oh, my God. You people.
Amin is right.
There it is.
Amin is right.
Yeah.
There are minerals in one and not in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Let that be a lesson for you.
I fold.
Hey, it's Mike, and I want to motivate you to make Miller Lite a part of your football watching experience. Here's the pitch. It's got only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you get the taste that you crave without the calories. And, football fans, I can assure you, from personal experience, there is no other light beer, not on this wonderful planet of ours, that goes with football quite like Miller Lite. Make football time Miller time. No matter what team you're rooting for, there is one thing we can all agree on. Miller Lite and football bring us all together. So, I want you to take my advice and make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
We like to call this one a chorus of Owen Wilson. Ready?
Stugotz.
Wow.
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 Wow. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I would like for us to start doing a segment where we present either a Miami thing or a Florida thing to Charlotte, to Lucy, or to Jessica, although Jessica is now discovering more and more Florida things that are no longer new to her. But I want to have a segment where we are introducing Miami things or Florida things to Charlotte and to Lucy. Do you want to explain, Jessica, to either Charlotte or Lucy what Yeehaw Junction is? Like what... Jessica was scared. This was you discovering Yeehaw Junction?
It's hell.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Yeehaw Junction is where you end up if you forget to get off the turnpike when you're going north up to Florida.
It's a swampy area. People don't understand that we're all built on marshland out here. And once upon a time, you couldn't go out certain parts out west out here. There wasn't development, but Yeehaw Junction felt to you underdeveloped, correct?
It was just like, I was like, where am I right now? We were on the turnpike going north, and we were supposed to get off at Fort Pierce, I think, where like the turnpike and 95 intersect. Missed the exit, ended up like way going out west. We're heading towards Orlando now. We don't want to go towards Orlando. We're scared. We can't get off for another 80 miles. The next exit, Yeehaw Junction. We get off at Yeehaw Junction. Why is it called Yeehaw Junction? I Googled it. There's a Wikipedia page. I don't remember the answer, but I read all about it. And there's a gas station there, and then you just have to go west, and there's just like horses and just an empty country road all the way back to 95. We were in the middle of nowhere.
I've lived here my entire life, and I've never been to Yeehaw Junction. To me, it's something you pass on your way to Orlando.
Is Yeehaw Junction a town? I have like an old-timey village in my head of
Village?
like, where you can go and there are reenactments of like, here's what it was
I
like.
got
there.
an old west kind
Yeah.
of trading post.
Saloon doors.
Or someplace like a video game called Yeehaw Junction, and you build your own Western saloon.
Dun, 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 dun.
But it's a town?
Yep.
I don't really know. It's like an interchange off of the turnpike, and it's just like literally in the middle of nowhere. Like South Florida is so weird. So when you're in Miami, you're in Miami, and then as soon as you cross into Broward, you're in Florida. Like it's like real, like the street signs look different. Like everything just feels different. And then you're in, South Florida for another like, I don't know, 60, 70 miles. And then you
get to Boca, you're like, what's going on
yes,
here?
Yes. And then you're just
Everything
like moving
changes.
along the coast. It's just everything changes. It's weird. And then there's like this section of Florida where you're just like, this is not what you picture when you think of Florida. Like there's no beach. You're in the middle of the state. There's just flat swamp and nothing for miles.
Well, you described it. For those who did not hear it, you said there's a gas station and then just marsh. You mentioned the gas station, and I'd have to think, can you get me a population or any information on Yeehaw Junction? Because I do not think of it as a town. I think of it as a junction. I think of it as something that
it has a zip code,
It is,
man.
I want to know how many people live in this area because it doesn't feel as you're traveling through it like there's a lot of life there.
Here's a thought. Top 5 junctions that you've been to.
Apache Junction.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm seeing as of
Conjunction
20,
Can't think of another junction at the moment.
240 people.
as of 2020, 244 people.
Small town, Dano.
And
not a
that's the
town.
line at the bathroom at the gas station. It's tiny. It's this weird, and it's just this big interchange, and there's trucks everywhere and swamp all around you. It's very strange.
It's not a town. It's technically a census-designated place, or a CDP.
When you look it up, the second question it asks is, what was the experiment at Yeehaw Junction?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We're looking at it now.
Biological warfare.
Wait a minute. We're not looking at the experiment. We're looking at a famous landmark or the landmark in Yeehaw Junction.
The only landmark.
yeah, that's the motel.
That's not a landmark. That's
it.
That's Yeehaw Junction.
Are you buying if that food's good? Like,
Oh, it's good. It says it on the signs.
I know.
It says good food bar.
They would never false advertise
Catchy
there.
name.
I mean,
Can you please? It's the Desert Inn Motel. It should be marsh. It is not desert. It's just deserted.
It looks like 6 rooms.
This reminds me of a place in Maine, in this town in the middle of the state. Well, sort of close to like an hour from the coast. Store's called Hussey's General Store.
Hussies.
John Hussey.
And the sign, as you drive up, says, "We sell wedding gowns, guns, cold beer, and by golly, if they don't, you can buy all 3 of those things on the same floor." And they have a wedding gown. They have one wedding gown there that is the veil is piped in camo, and there's a camo belt.
Yeah.
And Maine also has like territories. The farther up you go, it'll just be like TR90. So it's sort of I feel like there's some similarities between the remote parts of the country,
and
even if they're
Florida.
separated by many miles.
There it is, hussies.
Can you
Hell yeah.
guys tell me, please, what this experiment,
gas. You
the
can get gas
answer
there.
to the experiment is, please? I'd like
It's
to
an
know.
incredible general store. Also, if you have a chance to go, I highly recommend.
I
it.
love
lot of
a good
groceries.
general store. I do. They have everything. It's like a
too.
one-stop shop, and they have the old school candy. That's what I love most.
Yes.
If you want razzles, go to a general store.
Saltwater taffy.
Guys.
I mean, do you have for me, please, some more information on this junction, Yeehaw Junction, and what is, you said the second question that comes up is what was the experiment that left us with Yeehaw Junction?
I think they conducted an experiment. It said a biological warfare experiment was conducted there that was supposed to determine the effectiveness of some chemical against wheat crops in time of war. This doesn't seem like a place you should probably be going and breathing in the air.
This experiment was part of Project 112 and was labeled DTC Test 6975. Sternrust, referred to as Agent TX, was tested to determine its effectiveness against wheat crop in time of war, as Lucy just said. The tests were conducted over a period of 1 month, from October 31st to December 1st, 1968. Live agent was sprayed by U.S. Air Force McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom fighter jets on 7 occasions.
Video has told me that the landmark that used to be at Yeehaw Junction that we just showed you has now been destroyed.
Oh, that's too bad.
It was destroyed by one of the many trucks that flies through there, not intending to stop at any point in Yeehaw Junction. These are the trucks that come between Miami and Florida, Miami and Orlando, carrying God knows what.
So just to be clear, there's no more good food or bar.
No good food, no motel. Desert Inn is gone.
It's a damn shame.
And that is a giant truck that has gone through the side of the building.
Hussies is still
I was going
alive.
to say
though.
Hussey's general store is okay, right?
Okay.
I don't know. Are you sure?
Hussies, they sell gas too, huh? So
Yeah.
it's a gas station where you can get a wedding gown,
Yep.
beer,
And razzles.
and guns, and razzles,
Yes.
Yep.
and saltwater taffy.
And also like fishing supplies and basically anything you.
The Yeehaw Junction doesn't have any of this.
Right. So this is an elevated situation, I suppose, is what.
Now, Charlotte,
Yes.
do you think if we asked the people at Hussies,
Mm-hmm.
they could tell us, like, have you had any customers come in and said, one of each, please?
You know,
a
that's
cold
a good.
beer,
I actually,
a wedding dress, and a gun.
I
razzles.
wrote about this place when I worked at Boston.com a million years ago, and I went and I was more focused on do people actually buy wedding dresses at all?
What?
Yeah,
There-
because
there.
Oh, there.
there.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
It doesn't seem like the experiment you want. Even if you're pro guns, it doesn't seem like the experience you want to
Why
be
not?
like, well, because what do you mean, why not?
You go there, you crack open a cold one, they show you the different gowns that they have. This one has camo on the piping. And while you're doing that, you can also take a look at some AR-15s or others.
They don't sell those.
Oh, no?
It's hunting rifles.
Oh,
It's
okay.
everything
Browning?
everything you need for a shotgun wedding.
Ah, there you go.
Hey.
You ever mess around and get in trouble? Like, no, don't worry. We got everything here. You can't have a cold beer, though. Only the groom.
Look at the grin right now on.
You know what a shotgun wedding is?
Look at the grin on Chris Cody's face there. The last time that I saw him look, you're not someone who is just delighted on your face all the time, but you told me the other day that someone had done something in sports that you considered sweet. You looked like a little boy.
He
You look
loves
like
sweets, I mean.
he does like sweets.
Yes.
You looked like a
It
little
made me say, "Aw."
little boy gazing at the television, smiling because something, was it in football that
Yes.
had happened? Something cute happened in the middle of all the carnage.
Sweet.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you were just delighted and you were a little boy, just so pure, delighted by sweetness in sport.
Yes, I saw a player help his teammate with his pad, the shoulder pad thing, and I was like, "Aw," and it got me thinking, where in sports do we go, "Aw"? So I wrote down a few.
Oh, there you go. You got a list.
Oh, wow.
In football, when they take the grass out of someone else's helmet.
A legal pad. Right? You have
I'm
a
a
legal
legal
pad? Because you're the executive producer
Yeah, man,
today.
I took notes. I didn't want to be looking at my phone, so I wrote it down.
All right.
When they in football, it's the fixing of the shoulder pad or the taking the grass out of someone's helmet. It's like, oh, you don't see this is here. Let me get this for you.
How about if you help another guy up, like
Okay.
opposing player?
Yeah. The
I
posing.
love that.
That's
love
soft.
that.
That's not sweet. That's soft.
MJ would never.
In
Exactly.
baseball, when the manager's walking out to do a pitching change, and he does the little clap right before he takes the ball. Just a little hey. Hey,
So
good job
cute.
out of you.
Job well done.
Good job, man. Hey, even though it wasn't your day, little clap. That's always cute.
I don't know if I awe that, though.
I have
Yeah,
something
same.
better in baseball,
Same.
though.
What's that?
Batter steps in the batter's box, gives the catcher a little tap on the knee pad.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, good to see you. Hey, how you been? How's the family? Love that.
I don't think many of those are all that sweet, though. I don't.
In golf, when the caddy is like the player's about to hit and there's a little noise. Hey, quiet, please.
That's not sweet at all.
That is
And
sweet.
that's
That
the
is
opposite
not
of
an
sweet.
all
That's a
moment,
warning.
though.
That is an
sort
all
of his
moment. I am
job.
defending
Oh,
my
oh,
golfer.
no.
Hey,
Isn't that his job?
my golfer needs quiet right now. Hey, quiet, please.
The aw sound that I make is, oh, come on, man. Just golf. Ain't that hard?
Boundary setting is something that you find sweet.
Telling a gallery to be quiet.
I like someone looking out for their guy.
He's jingling keys over there. Stop jingling the keys. He needs to concentrate. Oh, get out of here.
In hockey, whenever they do kind of like a salute to service thing, all the players, they tap on the ice with their stick.
Oh, I do like that.
Goosebumps.
I love the hockey
Yeah.
stick tap.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie.
That's that. Or, when they're on the railing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, on
Really
the boards.
good.
I'm struggling in basketball to find anything. I think basketball, just like the pregame high fives.
Well, isn't
Sometimes
it
I'm like,
just,
this is nice.
Isn't all the slapping of fives after free throws, after missing free throws?
Oh, like after the miss, it's
After
like-
making free
Yeah.
throws?
I like when the guy comes from behind the 3-point line, taps the guy in the butt. Doesn't even see it coming.
You know what I like? I like the post-game kind of mingling of everybody.
Where they
everyone
cover their
goes,
mouth?
That is my
Yeah.
favorite
We're like, hey,
part.
man, that was good.
I
We're
love
good
when guys on opposing teams hug each other.
Yeah. I saw last night I was at Heat Hornets, and there's a bunch of Hornets after the game. They're hugging each other. And I'm like, I always like to wonder, do you guys know each other at all? Or is like, I think, who was it? I saw Cody Martin hug Jamal Cain. And I'm like, do you guys know each other? Or is it just...
You think they
Just a
don't?
random hug?
You think they don't know each other?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just like a guy you've seen around, like, what's up, man? All right, good
Respect.
game. Yeah.
For a hug?
Yeah.
I
That's
try,
an awe moment.
I try to hug you around here all the time, and you slither away from me.
I don't like it.
Shake hands around here.
Yeah, exactly. Roy gives me a firm handshake. That's what I
I
like.
try to hug you, and you're just all like physical and symbolic sandpaper.
Ugh.
Dan Le Batard.
All of us who were watching college football elevated everything the weekend was because we missed football in general so very much.
You didn't watch the ending of UTEP Jacksonville State. It was awesome.
A doozy.
Stugotz.
It's such a lane for you. Just everything in college football is awesome. Any single thing that happens, she gets deliriously happy about.
Don't you miss viewing sports through that prism, though? Like, I'm envious of Lucy. Like, I wish that I could still be happy.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Lucy, the moment we've all been waiting for, the reveal of our new name. Should we reveal our new name?
We don't have the graphic for it, but we promised people at the watch party we'd tell them this week.
A lot of people were chanting foot at us. We did not like it, and we
Hate it
said,
so
we
much."
are done with foot girls officially. Stop chanting that at us. Do not yell. Let me see your feet at us while we're on stage.
Hated that.
At the watch along. Mike Ryan, you will burn in hell for your sins.
We will never say the F word again.
Never.
The worst 4-letter F word I can think of.
How do you feel about our new name?
I like it.
You like it?
I wish we would have. This was a suggestion from Mike Fuentes, and we probably should have taken it earlier.
I think we considered it, but we were like, maybe something better will hit us, and then nothing better hit us. So we were like, this was a solid choice all along.
We were basically like Jim Harbaugh with the NFL offers. We were like, we're going to play the field, see what comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't what I thought. Let's go to Michigan.
Do you like the new name, Taylor? Do you know what it is?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, Mike Fuentes pitched it to me early on.
All right. Sure. How do you want to? I'll count you. I'll count you down. I'll do like a drum roll. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Gin CFB. Boom! If we had a graphic, it would have popped up right now. It would have looked so
Confetti,
cool. So just-
fireworks.
If you're watching on video, close your eyes. Audio people, imagine it.
Angel's working on it right now. He's been very busy making t-shirts and stuff for the merch store. So
It's been working.
we have a new name. It's Gen CFB.
I think it's great.
Like generation, not like Jennifer.
Yeah.
Important distinction because you can't see it written out. So I thought I'd share that.
GENCFB. Is it one word or two? I think it's two.
I think we're going to do 2, maybe all caps.
Yeah.
Gen CFB.
It doesn't acknowledge that we're women at all. I think that's pretty sick.
I think that was what we were
it's
looking
pretty
for
cool.
all along. I like that. We have a lot to talk about today.
We do.
I didn't even realize until like 1 second before we were taping this that currently it's December 14th, which means that there's bowl games in like less than 12 hours from when you're listening to this, because this comes out a little bit after we record it. Lucy, I haven't made my picks yet. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm scared. There's like 7 bowl games before our next segment, which is when I was like, oh, we should do all our bowl game recap then. No, that's too late. We should have done it now, but we didn't.
I had to do my pick'ems yesterday, and it was like a nice, like, swift kick in the ass from a friend. It was like, hey, you need to get this done.
You're late.
Because I noticed it for the first time last year, because normally you'll start off the bowl season, like, decently soon, but it's like some, Group of 5 schools. Not that Group of 5 schools aren't awesome and they're the best and we love them, but like we don't really start seeing some of the bigger names until later in
like after the
December.
First weekend sometimes.
But we've got like a UCLA Boise State game, I believe, on
the
Saturday.
LA Bowl,
the Gronk Bowl.
Yeah, we've got so many opt-outs, so many people in the portal, so many coaches that have left. Like UCLA's defensive coordinator is gone, their quarterback is gone, one of their quarterbacks, I should say. A bunch of their starters are out, and then Boise State's coach got fired like a month ago, and they have a new coach. Like, it's so confusing. I don't know how people make picks for bowl games anymore, including myself. It's hard.
So tough. Shameless plug. Someone bought a Cameo for me, and you can do that if you want to give your loved one.
You're on Cameo?
Yeah, the weirdest Christmas gift you can imagine. One where they're like, I don't know who that is. And they were like, we want you to introduce our bowl pick'ems, like help us.
That's
go
a great
through the picks.
idea.
And I went through and I was like, brother, I don't know. they're opting out. They're opting out. They're opting out. It doesn't mean we love it less. I like it because it's like a cute little preview for next season.
Yeah.
You see somebody who's like, oh, they haven't played much, but they'll be a starter next year. But yeah, tough to do bowl pick'ems these days.
There is a running tally on, I think Action Network has one right now with all of the opt-outs and all of the players that have gone in the portal and all the coaches that have left from each team. It doesn't really make it any easier because it's like, okay, this team's backup quarterback is playing and this team's third-string quarterback is playing. Good luck. Like, you're kind of just like guessing regardless based on, and a few of them, the spreads are huge and maybe you just pick a favorite in that case. Like, that's a good strategy, I suppose, but you just don't know. A lot of it's like conference vibes.
It's all vibes.
Team vibes, like who's going to be excited to play in this, who's not. Just go with the vibes. That's my advice if you're doing a bowl pick'em this year.
You got to look and be like, who's feeling the cheesiest out of these guys?
Cheese, 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 cheese.
NC State.
Okay, so there was a ton of stuff that happened this last weekend. You went to the Army-Navy game.
I did.
You thought it was interesting.
It was a very fun game. It was probably not a game that I enjoyed as much as the other people. I didn't have any sort of attachment to either team, and it didn't really feel like the type of game where I could like pick a side and switch and do that fun little thing. Definitely wouldn't have worked well. So it was very no one in my family has served. I certainly haven't served. I mean, look at me. So there was
You are serving all the time, girl.
Thank you. But it's an awesome experience.
Gen CFB.
Like if you are if you're really patriotic, and if you love football, like if you enjoy the pageantry and the traditions of college football, then it's a game you should go to, because the singing of the songs at the end of the game, the prisoner swap, all the flyovers, all the parachuters, like it's really an awesome environment. Just tailgating wise, it wasn't the best for content, but
no one wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it was bad. It just means that those people represent our military, and probably being drunk on camera isn't a good idea.
It literally just means more.
Yeah, it just means
Perhaps.
way more. And the game itself, it was weird. That's what I expected.
It was weird.
It was odd. For the regular season of college football to end with a safety, it was like Kirk Ferentz screwed up himself, man. It was beautiful.
It was
Loved
perfect. Speaking of your buddy, they posted the Iowa offensive coordinator position on the internet for people to apply to. So someone should apply for Lucy on her behalf.
Yeah, so I will not be applying, because if you put a list of the people that Iowa fans dislike the most, I think if you did number one, it might be me, and then number two might be Brian.
No,
Ferentz.
Lucy. Just like some weird people online. Everyone loves Lucy.
I'm not going to apply for that job.
I love Lucy.
They have to. People are like, "Why are you posting this? You haven't found a person, a candidate." The only name that's been floated around right now is Scott Frost, and Pat McAfee reported it. So I'm choosing to believe it's fake, because I don't want to.
I like your Paul Christ.
Paul Christ. I've also heard that one. Both of them make sense, because both of them like, for real. So they have to post the job because it is a public university job. So get in your applications now. Get in your jokes. if the last guy is any measure of what the qualification is, just write your dad's name. Just write your dad's
I was
name
going to ask you, like, what do you think is like the ideal candidate other than son of Kirk?
Son-in-law, maybe nephew. I don't know. There's a lot of relatives you could choose for. I don't know if he has a brother. I don't know.
Well, the other thing that happened this weekend, other than I watched a little bit of the FCS playoffs. They're very fun to watch. Right now, the semifinal is going on, probably right after you listen to this. But the Heisman show was on Saturday night. And I have to say, probably the first time maybe in my life I didn't watch it, because I just I've watched the show a lot, and the show's very long, and I kind of am like, I don't know if I need to watch the show. I kind of just will find out via ESPN notification who won. But that's not to discredit Jaden Daniels, who I thought was a very deserving Heisman winner. He finished the season with 3,800 passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards, 50 total touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions, leading this LSU team to a 9-3 record, which probably you think okay, a little lackluster for a Heisman quarterback to not be in the playoff conversation late in the season, but he won some big games for LSU, and I don't think he's the reason that they lost any of those games.
No, there was a great tweet. I don't want to take credit for it, but I can't remember who wrote it right now, and it was about how Jaden Daniels had photos of himself in his jacket, doing the Heisman pose, and then how Michael Penix Jr. had the names of his teammates. Names. And they were like, well, Jaden Daniels' teammates, God, he's not going to put the defense in there. What did they do? Not my tweet. I wish I could remember who wrote it because it was so funny. The whole Jaden Daniels deserved the Heisman. That was the right choice. He had an electric year. It's just, hey, you didn't have the supporting cast. We've seen it before. The only real, I watched it, and it's why do you tune in before 8:53? I don't know why you would do that. The only moment that I liked was when Bo Nix's mom was subtly talking shit about Auburn, and I was like, yeah. Hell yeah, sister. Let it all out. She was like, it was he actually got to go to college when he went to Oregon. I was like, bang, 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 bang. Love it. The Heisman award ceremony just doesn't really feel as flashy and fun anymore. I watched the college football award ceremony the night before. They got to do something to make that more fun. Boy, they got to do something to make that more fun. That was oh, God.
I think the thing that was interesting about all the finalists this year, except for Marvin Harrison Jr., was all 3 quarterbacks are transfers, and all of them in their second year with new teams. They all, for the most part, had good seasons last year, but then this season, I thought all were deserving of being there as finalists. And
Absolutely.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. Not that transferring isn't a new thing in college football, even though we kind of act like it is. Baker Mayfield was a transfer.
Yeah.
Justin Fields was a transfer. This has been happening for a while, especially at the quarterback position. But I think it is notable that 3 of the best quarterbacks this year were all guys who I think especially Bo Nix's case really struggled with his first choice, and so he had the opportunity to leave and go somewhere else and excelled there. And it's cool to see people in that position have a second chance to pick a better fit or go somewhere where they are able to have more success. Michael Penix went to Indiana. He was electric at Indiana for a while.
That 2020 year was crazy.
He made Tom Allen a lot of money, and he was super fun to watch, but had injuries, and there was a ceiling at Indiana with Tom Allen. I think maybe they think that could be higher now that they've made some new hires with that program, but he wasn't going to make it to the playoff with Indiana when he was there. But he goes to a place like Washington, and Kalen DeBoer is a coach that, they got a couple guys in the portal, but they're also really good at recruiting. He's really good at developing talent, and it was just the perfect fit for Michael Penix. So I thought he was also a super deserving candidate. I don't know. I really like the Heisman. I'm not one of those people who's oh, this is so stupid. This is just ceremonial, blah, blah, blah. Of course it is. That's all of college football. I do think it should be an award that takes place after the national championship, though.
It absolutely should. Christian McCaffrey will always be my answer for hey, it should happen after bowl games. Come on, be so serious right now.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson was my answer for that, but that didn't age well.
Who? I've never heard of him. The Heisman is it's what college football is. It's pompous. God, I really wish that they would just, hey, don't tune in until this time. Don't tell me it starts at 8. It doesn't start at 8.
It's when they were announcing the playoff finalists, I was like, all right, the show starts at 12. Just tell me when you're going to put the final 4 on, because it was 12:30 when that happened. I could have spent that 30 minutes not sitting watching people just talk about stuff I've already heard every week for the last 8 weeks.
I'm like, where
that's
was
my-
the
my
explanation
problem.
of why Iowa punter Tory Taylor wasn't there? They didn't talk about anybody else who wasn't in the conversation.
Unanimous
And I was
All-American.
like, good Lord. I think Iowa, Notre Dame, we were tied for most. Shout out us.
Joe Alt and Xavier Watts from Notre Dame.
Cooper
First team
DeJean.
All-Americans.
Tory
Wow.
Taylor.
Look at us!
Look at us.
Oh!
Look at us. Better than everybody else. Except for we're not in the playoff.
We're going to be back with another segment of Gen CFB. After
know what that
this
was.
break. I like that. A little air horn thing.
Thank you.
But also it was like a dog.
Yeah, it sounded way more like a dog. It was like, that was Georgia fans after losing Alabama. It was like a real, like, no.
Sad.
Dan Le Batard.
Lou Holtz, number
Thank
one.
you, Telly. Tripping my balls off.
I can't
Play a
get,
little touch of gray.
you cannot give me enough fake Lou Holtz saying any number.
Tripping my balls off.
You can't give me enough.
Stugotz.
Drool on the microphone. I'm not sure what
Sucking
you're
on a
doing.
pacifier to avoid eating my own face.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Speaking of ESPN shows and analysts and people that talk on them, Kirk Herbstreit was the main character on Twitter this week because he posted a dissertation on the college football playoff, Lucy, and he was getting made fun of for it.
It was like, nothing he said was that particularly crazy. I mean, I didn't read it at first because this man, it was like very clearly like, I got PTSD flashbacks. So like when I was in college and I got dumped and I was like, oh, what the notes app? I'm gonna go to the notes app. I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna get it all out.
I'm going to tell everyone how I feel.
He went to the notes app and typed out just this like giant like Michigan manifesto about why he thought or not even why he thought Alabama was better than Florida State, but just why he...
Is that what it was about? Because I'm going to be honest, I didn't read the whole thing either, which is why I think we should do a little bit of performance art here where we read this long-ass tweet back and forth, like line by line, alternating for the next 10 minutes, because I think that actually might be how long it takes.
It's very important that we do this. Before we start, little context. This was in response to a Florida State fan who had tweeted something mean at him. This Florida State fan had 30 followers. So that was really nice.
Also, the tweet was a reply to a picture of Kirk Herbstreit's dog.
He was having a day, and we all have them. There are days where I want to do this.
Okay, so now for the dramatic reading of Kirk Herbstreit's very long tweet.
I wish we could turn the lights
about
down.
Yes, please give us some mood lighting for the next 8.5 minutes. This is going to take I hope people are ready. This is an audiobook. This counts as reading a book this week if you listen to this. Lucy, do you want to do the honors?
Okay, ready? We'll go sentence by sentence. I'll start off. Because Alabama is better.
Period.
So is Texas.
So is Michigan.
So is Washington.
So is Oregon.
So is Georgia.
I watch 10 to 15 games a week live from September, early December.
I think I'm allowed to have an opinion on who I think is better.
If FSU doesn't like it bits this for, tell the conference commissioners to change the protocol to most deserving.
Until then, I and everyone else is certainly that. I don't know if that's grammar's correct. Okay, sorry.
None of it
Until
is.
then, I and everyone else is certainly is allowed to give an opinion in a subjective discussion.
Don't like it, change it.
It's funny when FSU went ahead of the U in 2000 after Dorsey and the boys beat the Noles, and FSU went instead of a deserving Canes team to the BCS championship where they lost to Oklahoma. I didn't hear from all of you about the system being rigged, and it's not fair. There's no punctuation there.
You were big fans of the turnout back then, of course most of you, and this despicable lunatic fringe probably didn't even know about 2000 when the Noles got the benefit over a great Miami team.
Listen, man, I have always loved FSU going back to the 80s.
Bobby Bowden, the unis, the swag, the consistency, something about that brand I was always attracted to, and what happened with 5 to 6 teams having a shot at the playoff and the Noles being undefeated and left out sucks, but I have to give an opinion on who I think the best 4 teams are.
I'm not on the committee, I don't vote, I watch games, I analyze teams, and I give my take.
That's it.
And if you think I have an agenda or a motive, I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's wrong.
I love this sport and I care about it deeply, and I can't make everyone happy. I ask questions of the commissioners in the offseason to understand things clearly. Watch games and give my opinion. It's such a long sentence.
If it's for your team, you love me, and if it's against it, you hate me.
I wish it were different, and hopefully next year with 12 teams it will be.
I'm a huge fan of Coach Norvell and his team, and wish Noles nothing but the best.
Boom.
We went through that pretty fast, And I know we thought it would take a long time, but that's because I thought there was going to be some
punctuation. So many dashes.
I thought it was going to be like a comma in there every once in a while. There was not.
Man,
Kirk was just
his job. I don't agree with everything Kirk Herbstreit says. I don't agree with anything that anyone says, except myself and my own brain. I have the only good takes.
The only right ones.
Just kidding. But actually, his job must be terrible because people yell at him no matter what he says.
And that's, I get it, because there are so many times I want to lose my mind on a fan, so I don't judge Kirk Herbstreit for responding. I do think he should have just, like, let's bring the character limit back.
Put it in drafts, wait an hour, delete it.
Or, you know what, just go the simple, like, screw you. F off. We don't need to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was still beautiful. Thank you, Kirk.
I enjoy when people just lose it on random people replying to pictures of their dogs on Twitter, because I've been there.
Yeah.
Lucy, in other news, that was fun.
That was actually really fun. I quite enjoyed that.
We need to do, we did a little bit of role play with Pat Narduzzi earlier this season. We need to bring that back. We need to do a little bit more of this performance art. I enjoy it. There's been a ton of stuff, portal-related stuff happening the last couple weeks. You live by the portal, die by the portal, as I say. There's a ton of quarterbacks in the portal, out of the portal. Tyler Van Dyke, formerly of the University of Miami Hurricanes, is going to Wisconsin. Actually, Taylor, I've been meaning to ask you about this because he's going to Wisconsin, where Luke Fickell is the head coach, had struggled a lot this season with their new offensive coordinator, Phil Longo, who formerly was a offensive coordinator for the North Carolina Tar Heels. What are your thoughts on Phil Longo?
There was a lot of complaints with the Phil Longo offense and how it was very good from the 20 to the 20, but once teams kind of got condensed into the red zone and knew that Carolina couldn't really run the ball effectively, that was kind of the disconnect with the Phil Longo offense, because statistically, you look at the numbers he put up, they were always a top 25 scoring offense, a top 25 total offense, and he got Drake May to Carolina, he got Sam Howell to Carolina. So I do think he has shown the ability to get really good quarterbacks, but there are some hang-ups with his offense and the production that you get out of that.
Well, put Taylor on the spot, and he was ready for that.
Inside Carolina.
The thing we kind of briefly talked about earlier this year, the thing with Wisconsin is they are changing a little bit of their long-standing Wisconsin identity by hiring Phil Longo and now bringing in Tyler Van Dyke to kind of run this offense, where Tyler Van Dyke was super successful his first year with Miami and then has really struggled, but he's also had 5,000 different offensive coordinators. He's had a different offensive coordinator every single year that he's played. So I don't think, and he was super injured this year. There was that report that his muscle on his calf was detached from the bone or something. It was disgusting. I don't know if you heard that during the Louisville game, but it was very yucky. But the main complaint I think about Wisconsin's offense this year was that it was this weird mixture of, identityless mixture of things that Wisconsin kind of should be better at and wasn't, and didn't have really any sort of identity, for lack of a better term, and they also didn't really have a great experience with the quarterback that they got in the portal last year from SMU. So this is interesting. This is something to look at.
I will say, as an Iowa fan, I try to be nice. I wasn't devastated when I saw that he was transferring to Wisconsin. I wasn't oh man, that's going to be a huge problem down the line. Wisconsin, you said it perfectly, and Luke Fickell has come in and completely tried to change the identity of Wisconsin, which is crazy because, if you look at, Big Ten wins over the last 10 years, it's Ohio State, Michigan, and then it's always Wisconsin. They are, the most consistent team in college football. I understand, hey, we have the identity, and that's something that, Iowa fans struggle with as well, of, we want to be better than what we are. I think Wisconsin needs to get back to doing what they do best, and that's having huge offensive linemen. That's running the ball. You had, one of the best running backs in all of college football. I don't know how much Tyler Van Dyke fits the system. I do know that they're not in the Big Ten West anymore, but I think he'll have a lot of problems with Big Ten defenses. But I hope he does well, except for against Iowa.
There's also Dylan Gabriel went to Oregon this past week. That's gonna be something to keep an eye out for. This is his third team that he's played against, but he did very well at Oklahoma, I thought, and now he's going to be joining Dan Lanning's staff. I feel like Oregon, even though they lost both opportunities to beat Washington this year. Like, they're a bit of a darling. They've done a lot of good, like, NIL things. I think Dan Lanning is a coach that a lot of people like and want to see, like, succeed. And now Dylan Gabriel is going to be in the Big Ten, Lucy.
Oh, God.
Joining that Oregon team. Cam Ward, Kyle McCord, DJ Uyunglele, and now Malik Murphy, all huge quarterback names, all in the portal. Riley Leonard transferred from Duke to Notre Dame. If you're a fan of storylines in college football, next year Notre Dame is playing Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Mike Elko, former Duke head coach, former Notre Dame defensive coordinator, playing against Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame's head coach, who is now going to be coaching Duke's former quarterback, Riley Leonard. There's so many storylines here. It is going to be a fascinating, why is everyone talking about Duke this week? And that's why.
And it's going to be great. Jimbo Fisher's going to watch somewhere from his yacht that he's got with his buyout money. The big transfer portal news this weekend when Malik Murphy entered the portal, immediately my brain was like, he's going to Ohio State. He's going to Ohio State.
Reverse Quinn Ewers.
Something in my gut tells me he is going to Ohio State. I had the same feeling about Cade McNamara. Also, I knew Grayson McCall was going to go to NC State. Like, that just made the most sense in the world.
Yeah.
If you put all the NC State quarterbacks together for the last 10 years, you just get Grayson McCall.
Yeah, they had also had a portal quarterback last year, Brandon Armstrong from Virginia, who was it didn't work out super well. Like, their offense wasn't great this year. They had a pretty good defense though, and they finished the season quietly. I would say 9-3, I think, which NC State was not on anyone's radar. But Grayson McCall has been in college football for 6 years at Coastal. Now is transferring not far to NC State to play in Raleigh. So
one of the reports about Grayson McCall is he originally wanted to transfer to Carolina before Drake May was taking over as a starting quarterback, but the coaching staff was like, no, we're pretty confident with Drake May. So the Grayson McCall revenge game, it's already on the calendar, and he will beat North Carolina.
We're putting a future on that. I like that analysis from Taylor. My team's going to lose this game.
That's how I feel all the time.
That's how I feel, too. That Texas A&M game I was just talking about. Biggest portal news of the week. Louisville got a guy named Thor Griffith from Harvard. I just thought that was kind of cool.
Same level education.
Thor. Hey.
University of Louisville. Ivy League of Kentucky.
Lucy, we're going to do more bowl picks next week because we should have done them this week. And then instead of doing any sort of homework, yesterday we baked cookies.
We did. Well, Jess baked cookies and then I put them on the paper.
We baked them together.
You baked them and I sat and I entertained and then I put them on the paper.
They were very good, though.
They were great.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We should do that again.
We should do it again.
Hand girls.
All right, I think we're going to leave and
with
do
our
it.
hands.
Nope.
Oh, no, you're right. That's not good. We don't want that either. All right. Well, this has been fun. How much time do we have left, Taylor?
Oh, I can fill this.
Let's do should we do a rapid fire the first whatever bowl games?
Yes, do we want to do it at the same time?
Yes, let's yell out our names on the count of 3. Okay, so the first game is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Georgia Southern and Ohio. 1, 2, 3. Georgia Southern. Okay, the second bowl is the New Orleans Bowl, Jacksonville State versus Louisiana. 1, 2, 3.
Jacksonville State.
Ah! The Cure Bowl, Saturday, Miami, Ohio, App State. 1, 2, 3. App State! Oh my God! 3 for 3. New Mexico Bowl, New Mexico State versus Fresno State. 1, 2, 3.
New Mexico State!
Oh my God! LA Bowl, Boise State versus UCLA. 1, 2, 3. Boise State! The Independence Bowl, Texas Tech, and Cal! Texas Tech!
Hey, it's Mike, and I want to motivate you to make Miller Lite a part of your football watching experience. Here's the pitch. It's got only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you get the taste that you crave without the calories. And, football fans, I can assure you, from personal experience, there is no other light beer, not on this wonderful planet of ours, that goes with football quite like Miller Lite. Make football time Miller time. No matter what team you're rooting for, there is one thing we can all agree on. Miller Lite and football bring us all together. So, I want you to take my advice and make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.